My name is Carrie Welter. I am a junior in the College of Arts and Sciences studying history with a minor in the core curriculum, and I'm originally from the San Francisco Bay Area in California.
My name is Morgan Fleming. I'm originally from Minneapolis, and I'm an econ major in CAS, freshman econ major. I actually first saw it in the Kiloton Weekly newsletter. There was a little blurb at the bottom, I think around in October, saying to reach out if you were possibly interested in helping in some way. And I was excited to do a more creative activity. I'm mostly been focused on academic activities and schoolwork, so it was nice to do something that was a bit more right-brained.
The biggest challenge was definitely figuring out how to make a lighting plot. I mean, my idea of what lighting design was is you just sat in front of a light board and just kind of fiddled with the lights until you found something you liked. And then you came in with like, yeah, I want, green gel used there, I want that type of gobo used up there. But again, that's very, very vague and not, efficient at all. So figuring out how to get my ideas onto a light plot, and I don't know how to use any of those, fancy programs that people can use to make lighting plots, so I just drew mine.
I'd say honestly, it was finding a way to make a good light plot using that would find a way to make a good light plot that would accurately display what it was without having to, while only having it contained within the online format, because it was never going to be transferred to a real life stage, obviously. So being able to get across the right amount of detail in the actual digital light plot and finding the right software to actually convey that was it took a couple tries to figure out the best way to display my thoughts, I guess.
So something that we decided pretty early on is we wanted a very different lighting design for Act 1 of the show and Act 2 because it is so tonally different. So we wanted lots of colors and such in Act 1, whereas Act 2 is much more stark. Although towards the end of the show, especially in Act 2, Scene 6 and Scene 7, the colors kind of start to creep back into the show. So yeah, that was just kind of the main, I guess, format isn't the right word, but the main kind of idea that we went off.
Making a notable difference between Act 1 and Act 2 in general color scheme and design, mostly in that we used warmer tones for a more comfortable, happier feeling in Act 1, and then really stark, harsh, sterile lighting for Act 2 after Marie's death. And then we also kind of, between the three of us, worked to make themes between different colors of light for romantic versus platonic relationships, and just kind of have a coherent vision between each of the individual scenes as we were doing them separately.
We just referred to the script. We divvied up the scenes kind of randomly. I did request to do Act 2, Scene 6, since that's the behemoth scene that I am a part of, but everything else was just kind of random.
I first went through, read the whole script, and then read my scenes again, basically just marking cues and where I wanted the bigger change, and then I went and actually made a digital version of the light plot with color and notes on the side. So it's basically just converting my cue notes on the side of the script into an actual visual representation of it.
I really liked Act 2, Scene 4 because I feel like the lights match the tone and mood of the scene really well. I've got, it's the scene with Jimena and Clara, and they kind of fight. And I have both of them in a really just stark spotlight to really emphasize how kind of alone the other is. And as they argue, they become backlit by this psych light that just kind of grows in intensity until the climax of the argument. And I'm really pleased with how that came out. As I was finishing writing my notes for that, I was like, ooh, that's good, I like that. And I was happy enough that my team liked it as well. So that was really, really nice.
My favorite scenes that I worked on, and favorite like instances in the script were I had a couple scenes with phone calls, specifically between between a couple different characters, but I wanted to really kind of figure out a way to make them connected through the phone call, with the lights. So what we ended up doing, and we ended up transferring this to all the different phone calls that happened in the entire play, not just in my acts, but not just in my scenes, but we ended up using really harsh spotlights to try and isolate them on the stage and kind of bring them out of their physical environment and into like this digital connection between the two of them. And that was just fun to work on with my group members and try and figure out exactly how we wanted to kind of illustrate that.
This is a very unique theatrical format. This is not something they've ever seen before. And because of that, they might get confused or overwhelmed or frustrated if they like go into it with, without kind of familiarizing themselves with it. So I would suggest before they really like explore the website and start going through the story that they like kind of maybe take the first scene, or like they look around the website to be like, okay, this is how this is going to go. This is how the viewing process is going to go.
How many people and how many minds are working with this one script, and there's a lot of freedom just for each individual tech department and each individual person who was working in it to just kind of take their own approach. And there wasn't really, since it doesn't need to be presented live, there was a bit more room for flexibility between each person. And I really liked that we could have our own designs, and each little elements while still kind of maintaining a cohesive theme between each scene, and just kind of, you can really see that each individual mind is represented in the tech departments.